Hey friends, I'm E.
And I'm Neeko.
And last year we lived in Vietnam. We spent about half the year in the big city of Hanoi and the other in the small beach town of Hoi An. Along the way, we visited some pretty cool places and met some even cooler people. Here are our stories. Having just learned how to ride a motorcycle in Hanoi, which is probably one of the worst places in the entire world to learn how to ride a motorbike, we decided to embark on our first motorbike trip in Vietnam to help me learn and to just go on an adventure.
Our first destination was Ninh Binh, which is a mere 2-hour drive up north from Hanoi. But wow, what a difference 2 hours makes, because as soon as we got to the outskirts of Ninh Binh, we knew we were about to enter a place like no other place we've been before.
Slow and steady, with a couple of bumps along the way, we made it to our hostel, Trang Ang Mountain House. I had booked it kind of hastily because we were in a rush when we were booking it, and I was excited and just wanted to get it done. So we didn't do very much research. But we were happy when we got there because it was neatly tucked into a valley, completely surrounded by nature.
Our hostel truly wasn't much, but that was okay with us because we were planning on spending as little time there as possible and as much time outside exploring as possible. That being said, on our drive in, we did see many hostels with pools and even better views than ours, so definitely do your due diligence. Still, we were greeted with open arms, big smiles, and cold beers, so no real complaints.
None. Anyway, we dropped off our bags, we ate some food, and we hurried up to get to Mao Caves. And guys, wow, it is so incredible. We were so underprepared for not only the walk of the gajillion amount of stairs, but also for how incredible these views would be. The place itself is beautiful as well, and there's even a hostel you can stay at on site. If we had known that, we probably would have chosen to do so because it was that beautiful. We got there right before sunset, so we were kind of in a rush, so we only took one of the 2 routes available.
Yeah, so there are 2 routes available. There's one that leads you to a pagoda and gives you a lower vantage point of the surrounding areas. And
Not as cool.
yeah, not really as cool. And then there's the one we took that leads you all the way up to the top of the mountains and gives you some of the best views Vietnam has to offer.
And an incredible statue of a dragon on top of the mountain that you can climb on.
That's right, folks, a dragon. That next day, we woke up late purposefully and lazily made our way to the rice fields. Now, these rice fields are not like the Bali rice fields you see all over Instagram. And to be honest, when we went, it was the start of the season, so they weren't that lush. But what the rice fields don't have, the mountains make up for. Because just after a quick drive away from the city, you are surrounded by mountains. And not only that, you're also, at least for us, it was our first time, you're shown village life in Vietnam. And everyone there, for the most part, was pretty happy to see us and very friendly. And I say for the most part because E kind of made an enemy.
Oh, I don't have food for you. I don't have
Keep going. She was being mean to me earlier.
I don't have food. I luckily got away. It was quite awful. Other than the goats, the route through the rice field is quite short. You could spend as little as 10 minutes riding through it, or you could be like Nick and I and spend like 2 or 3 hours meandering slowly through the path. We suggest riding either a motorcycle or a bike, as it's just much more enjoyable that way. On the 3rd day, we went to a place that stole Nico's heart.
It truly did.
Bai Dinh Temple. It's the largest temple in all of Vietnam, and it's, I'm not gonna lie, a real hassle to get to. We have more detailed instructions on how to get there in our blog, but if you see street vendors, you're going in the right direction. Once you're on the grounds, it's enormous. There's so much to see and do, but really what took this or stole the show for us was the great big Buddha. The Buddha stands 16 meters tall and weighs like 100 tons or something like that, and is made completely out of bronze.
Now, obviously, everyone goes there for the Buddha. It's clearly what steals the show. But what's as equally impressive are the Arhat statues. Along the pathway to the giant Buddha, there are 500 Arhat statues lining the walls. Now, what are Arhat statues, you're probably asking, like we were?
Yeah.
Arhats are people that reach enlightenment or nirvana with the teachings of a Buddha. A Buddha, on the other hand, is someone who reaches nirvana or enlightenment all by themselves. So an Arhat is basically a student who reaches nirvana with the help of a Buddha.
This was our first real look at Vietnamese Buddhist culture. Now, technically, you're not supposed to touch the statues, but almost no one follows that rule. Everyone was rubbing the bellies, rubbing their feet, praying and wishing for good luck, especially because it was right before Tet, or right after Tet, so everyone was wishing for, good health, good fortune for the following year. We obviously had to give it a try, not wanting to waste any good fortune.
Now on to what I think is E's favorite part of Ninh Binh.
Trang Ang Scenic Landscape.
Trademark.
It's where you take a little rowboat through what looks like a miniature Halong Bay. It is so cool, guys.
It truly is incredible. Now, we were recommended and advised to not travel during Tet, and we're gonna relay that onto you guys because the lines that awaited us were crazy.
Madness.
It was super packed, super busy, but as soon as we got on the boat, it made every single second that was spent drenched in our own sweat worth it.
There are 3 options for your boat ride. 3 different routes that all have different options. It can be a little overwhelming picking your route, and we looked online, looked for recommendations. Everyone says a different thing. So it's really up to you. We chose route number 3 because it had the longest cave, and honestly, that's what we were there for. There were some other cool stops along the way, like I think we saw a temple or a pagoda, and then we also saw an island where they filmed Kong Skull Island, the movie. So the set was pretty cool to see, but honestly, the best part of that entire journey was going into a dark cave, coming out, and seeing the mountains expose themselves under the bright shining sun.
So there you have it. That was our experience in Ninh Binh.
That was our experience, but we would love to hear yours. If you've been there, if you're planning on traveling there, if you have any recommendations, please leave us a comment below.
Yeah, we'd love to chat. If you want more in-depth information, and I mean much more in-depth information, please follow us on our blog where you can see any question you need answered.
If you like this video, hit that like, hit that subscribe button. We greatly appreciate it, and we'd love to keep sharing our stories with you. So follow along for our next adventure.
Either way, y'all, remember, stay cool.
Cause it's hot in Nam. Damn. Right, what am I?
Independent woman, you ain't need me no man.
That's
You
right.
got one.